Let's do a little bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books. There's not too many of these left before the end of football season. We'll start over the weekend. Let's talk a little college football, some bad beats. How about UConn plus 32.5 against Houston? All right. The Cougs are the 32.5 point favorite. The underdog Huskies are the team that covered the spread on the pick six, end up losing 45-17, only lost by 28. And I'll tell you, you can look at 100 of these games, all right, where one team's favored by 30 plus over the other, and the team that covers in the pick six isn't the underdog very often. Huskies get the money. That was tough if you had the Cougs. How about the Oregon State total? Bet down from 64.5 to 62. There's 33 points after three quarters at dead nuts under, and then there's 34 points in the fourth, including the last meaningless touchdown coming with a minute left. 2 touchdowns the last 3 minutes. Under better screwed in that one. Florida State, they're plus 4. They're down 24-7 in the fourth quarter, down 24-14 with under a minute to play. The backdoor TD, they lose by only 3. Gator backers didn't enjoy that. And of course, Nebraska backers. You've had a heck of a year, Nebraska backers. Outscored 19-0 in the fourth. They lose by 7, -1 at Iowa. In the NFL, some bad beats. Look. If you had Cleveland plus the points last night, you didn't enjoy that very much. +3, +3.5 against the Ravens, and you should have had +3.5 if you had the Browns, to be honest. That 7-second differential between the play clock and the game clock that Marco was so avidly describing to me before we came on air made all the difference, because that means the Browns had to use their timeouts, which means the Ravens had to kick a field goal instead of kneeling out. You were +4 in turnovers with Cleveland. You didn't cover the point spread. That doesn't happen very often. That was a tough beat. There were bettors confused as to why Chargers head coach Brandon Staley went for it. I saw suspicious, I saw all kinds of mysterious 2-point conversion try, down 15 after a touchdown. Just to make this clear, if Staley does it, it's right. When you're down 2 TDs, you go for 2 after the first TD, and then if you score the second TD, you kick the extra point and you can win the game. And that's why they do that. But of course, they missed the 2-point conversion, which killed all the teasers to the over. Then again, if you're teasing totals, you're going to lose inevitably. And of course, the Pats-Titans total closed 43-43.5, sitting at 42. No one's going to score again, but the Titans go for it on 4th and 14 from their own 21. They fail. It equals a 2-play, 21-yard touchdown drive for the Pats to cash the over. That wasn't fun if you had the under in that one. Some bad bets over the weekend. There was a bunch. Look. You had Tennessee getting bet up against Vandy, -30 to -33. They controlled the game, but they only won by 24. Bad bet on the Vols. Louisville took money, -1 to -3. They lost by 31 at home to Kentucky. Louisville, a bad bet. Rutgers, this is a game you were talking about, Prez. Rutgers +1 to -2 against Maryland. The Terps win 40-16 to become bowl eligible. BYU took all the money against USC, -7 to -8.5. They had to rally to win the game straight up. They were up 28-13 at halftime. They trailed by early fourth quarter. The Cougs were a bad bet. Wyoming, -7 to -9 against Hawaii. They lost outright by 24 in Laramie. And, of course, Alabama got bet up, -17 to -21. The total got bet up, 54.5 to 57. 4 overtime still didn't go over, and Bama never sniffed a cover in that range, 24-22 final. Bad bets in the NFL. The wise guys love them some Eagles, man. -3 to -4 against the Giants. They were -4 in turnovers and lost the game straight up. That wasn't a good bet. Lots of Steelers money as dogs against Cincy. That game was over by halftime. Pittsburgh wasn't a good bet. And, of course, lots of Rams money at Green Bay. Matt LaFleur still hasn't lost 2 in a row as the Packers head coach, 38-26 final. Wasn't really that close. The Rams were a bad bet. When it comes to bad for the books, Friday, all Wazoo money against Washington State. They were +3 to -1. They ended up winning by 27 to end a very dismal season for the Washington Huskies. The wise guys were all over Michigan against Ohio State. That was a wire-to-wire winner. There was nothing but Purdue money. Indiana, it's been a hot bag of flaming shit for months. The market's finally figured it out, -15 to -18. 44-7. Wow. The old open bucket goes to the Boilermakers. Illinois, hey, it wasn't a good weekend for the books in the Big Ten. Illinois -6 to -7.5 against Northwestern. The Wildcats were a dead team walking for months. 47-17 final there. And UTSA had clinched, and they knew it. The markets knew it as well. North Texas +13. They were bet down to +8.5. They won the game by 22. That, not a good result for the house. Turkey Day in the NFL. Well, the books got buried with Bills money, 31-6 against the Saints. That was a bad result for the house. The Pats, -2.5 was a look headline. -5.5 was the opener. -7.5 was the closer against the Titans. They won the game 36-13. That was a bad result for the books. Nobody bet the Jags at pick. Nobody bet the Jags at +1. All Falcons money. Atlanta hung on to win that game 21-14. And last but not least, bad for the books, the 49ers. -2.5 to -4. Wise guys loving some San Fran the last couple of weeks. They win by margin against Minnesota. So there you have it. Some bad beats, some bad bets, some bad for the books. Back to you, El Presidente.